Hello, friends. Welcome back. It's Wednesday, my dudes. How are we all? It's great to see you once again. Welcome back to Adventures Tabletop as we, I don't know, plumb the depths. Ooh, sounds terrible. As we make our way, as we make our way through the module that is Horde of the Dragon Queen. This is session 17. We are, for those of you who are keeping track of where we are within the story, we are entering we have just started chapter 4. Started chapter 4. I actually got confused as to whether it was chapter 3 or 4. It turns out it is in fact chapter 4. What's happening right now, my friends, is the group is currently traveling from the greenest refugee camp through Berdusk. Just if you want a recap, we have a new bot in the channel as programmed by one of our players, the great WT. So if you type in !recap last, it will give you what happened in the last session. If you type in !recap all, it will give you the recap of everything that happened, of everything that has happened since the beginning. In the last session, the group set out with Leosin to try and find some people that can help in the struggles. So the group has determined that this cult is not surprise does not have the best intentions. So they are currently going to be moving across and then up the coastway to get to Berdusk, and then start heading north towards Neverwinter. I do believe it is Neverwinter, right? Give me this damn map. There it is. Okay. They are headed up towards Waterdeep. Sorry, not Neverwinter. They're headed up towards Waterdeep. Well, and then assuming carrying on closer to Neverwinter, they're headed up towards Yatar, the Yatar area and the Tribor area, which is to the northern side of the Sword Coast. So it is quite a ways up there. They'll be traveling through Baldur's Gate up towards Waterdeep, and then even further north of Waterdeep up into the northern areas. The party's plan, as per Leosin, is to head up to Elturel. Is in Elturel, Leosin has some friends that he thinks might be able to provide some assistance, or at the very least that Leosin needs to get some information to. On their travels, the group managed to commandeer the governor of Greenest's palanquin, his personal palanquin, in order to assist carrying Rack. And they stopped 2 days into their journey at the town of Berdusk in order to modify the palanquin, get some provisions, and spend a night in the local tavern. In the tavern, they attempted to make some money in a little backhanded betting scheme of druid on druid fighting. And they tried to make some money on druid fighting, which didn't quite pan out for them. And they also decided that they felt the need to have some they felt the need that, a couple of them might want a little company for the evening. This is where we left our group as they proceeded to go to sleep. Yeah. So we will return to our dashing adventuring party as you guys wake up after having a wee rest. You guys wake up in the inn. You wake up in the inn in Berdusk, feeling particularly rested.
Has the guy finished with our cart modifications?
Are you headed over to go and check it out? I would assume yes. Yeah, you guys make your way over, and he says, it'll just be not another hour or so, and I'll have this thing modified. We're just my apprentice and we worked late into the night to try and get her done. We're nearly there. We're just reinforcing. We're just putting in a little bit of reinforcement to make sure the old palanquin will hold up to a man of such stature riding in it. And he kind of like blinks a little bit. He's like with a slightly confused look on his face. He doesn't really it definitely strikes you as though he isn't really, he's not really sure about a minotaur riding in this palanquin.
So what's it look like now?
It so it looks like some of the cracks in that you can see that there's like a couple extra boards and like a little bit of extra, it almost looks like things are kind of held together a little bit with twine. There are various cuts and adjustments made to it. It's a little bit larger in all directions. It still looks the same for the most part. It's just it definitely shows like it doesn't have any paint on it, kind of thing. Like the original one was, it was very, like the wood was stained and everything was all nice. This one, it now just kind of shows points of like this has been rushed, but it has been corrected. So I mean, like the curtains used to pull all the way across. Now they don't quite close properly. It looks like there were, like the original wood would have been some kind of well done hardwood kind of thing, and it's kind of been patched together with little bits of kind of whatever was hanging around. It kind of it looks a little haphazard, but it also looks like I mean, given the situation, it actually quite looks like a fairly decent job. It definitely lacks the polish that it used to have, but you also feel that had Rack ridden in it all the way to say Baldur's Gate, for example, that it probably wouldn't look so nice anyways.
Internet's gonna jab Rack with her elbow. And, hey, I think your horns will fit in it this time, man.
Rack just looks in her direction and just nods steadily. Then just kind of gives that like it's a fit for a minotaur, it's okay kind of look.
How solid is the roof?
It's not very. So it's the way it's been built is it's sort of been built almost like a frame, and then the roof in that is a very thin, it's like a very thin bit of plywood, and that's kind of been stretched, they're put over the top, and then there's like some very crude cloth stretched over top of that. It looks like the roof is really there to ensure that the rider does not get wet, and not much beyond that.
Guess I won't be riding on the roof then.
I mean, you could, but you would probably end up in Rack's lap at some point.
Well, it looks like you've done a good as job as we could expect, considering the amount of time. I'm sure it'll do just fine. And I guess I'll leave them to deal with it, and then go have some breakfast or something. I don't know where else to do it. What else is there to do in Berdusk in the morning?
Being such a small town, there's not a lot going on. Like this again is you kind of see this as being a town around the same size as Greenest, maybe even a little bit smaller. I mean, there's a single church of yeah, of faith. Sorry, there's at least there's a place of faith. You're not quite sure who it's to at the moment, but there is a church of faith there. There are a couple taverns. You see a lot of people who are just kind of rummaging around. There's a little bit of there's like slowly people opening up shops selling various sundries. You can hear the tinking of iron on or steel on steel as a blacksmith hammers out some wares. The smell of well, what you assume is livestock being brought to be sold to someone for butchering, stuff like that. It's a very sleepy little town.
I guess Nero will busy himself with breakfast and then weird old man yoga on a hill or something.
Fucking awesome. Okay, sounds good. Okay. Yeah, sounds great. Is there anything like what are the rest of you guys doing while you are in the morning, while you guys are things are slowly waking up, and people are waking up and getting about their days.
Is,
Go ahead.
is there any type of armorer in town?
There's a blacksmith for sure.
Do they by chance work in leathers?
Oh, you're looking for the tanner. No problem. Yes, there is a tanner in town as well.
It's when.
Yes, you are you make your way over towards the tanner.
Is there anybody that'd like to go with me? Otherwise, I'll just dip over there by myself. That's fine.
I would go with you. That the tanner seems a whole lot better than standing by this blacksmith shop this morning.
Yeah, let's go over there.
Ping, 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 ping. Just hammer on steel.
I'm also fashioned some sort of sunglasses or maybe blinders for the morning.
All right, hangover.
You just you kind of have like a piece of leather that you kind of have like half pulled down over top of your eyes a little bit to try and block out as much of the sun as possible.
Yes, I'm really leaning into the like Zen Ranger look right now. At least that's what I think.
The blind monk look?
Yes, yep, see, that's exactly it.
Okay. Sure.
Did anybody else want to come with us? We're gonna go over to the Tanners.
Rack is going to get something to go to eat, and then start following them in that direction. Not really saying much.
Sorry, did we split the gold is a question that came up. Let me quickly look.
Oh yeah. You said you were gonna.
Oh, you're right.
We
Fucking
forgot.
right. Okay, let me.
I was actually totally looking for that right now, and I didn't want to ask.
No,
I
man.
don't know
No,
what's
ask
that.
away. Like if it's something that I forgot to do, man, get up my ass about it. I'll deal with it. It looks like I can. Why can I click the rebuild button to what? Ba-ding. Ah, there we go. Yes.
Dope.
All
Thank you.
all the money has been distributed. Sorry, I didn't mean to spam it 3 times on you. It just the first time didn't go, so I clicked it a few more times. My
you
apologies.
you could always spam extra money in the wallet.
No. you greedy shits. No.
So Nero's doing a yoga pose and just gets a bag of gold to the face.
I mean, it would have kind of like been divvied up as you guys were standing at the Palanquin Palanquin repair facility.
Blacksmith.
Thank you. That's the one. English, my friends, English. Swear to God, it's my first and only language I speak fluently. You'd be surprised.
So Rack and the 2 druids are headed to the tanner. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah,
No, I'm
you
asking.
find you find like a leg of something that you're munching on the way by.
Big turkey leg.
Yeah, big old mutton.
Yep.
Yeah, and like I said, he's not really saying much. He's just kind of like observing town and looking and observing, like, the way what it seems like he's doing is observing like the way that people are acting in the town, like, like he's not, like, almost as if he's not used to seeing a load of people just being normal.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
So Uther, how you feeling, buddy?
I feel great today. How are you guys feeling? This is good. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little tired. Other than that, I'm good. And she's gonna give like little arm stretches. Still waking up herself.
Yeah, tired's all. As Uther is wincing at every single word that's being said.
Did you
Rack.
drink much?
I may have slightly gone over my limit last night. I know I became a snake at one point. I think we fought. I don't really know what else happened, though.
As they're having this conversation, Rack's gonna find a bone in whatever he had that he doesn't like, and he's just gonna like pull out one of his smaller hatchets and just hack at it and knock the bone off into the street,
Sounds good.
and then continue chewing.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't really miss much. I'm glad you made it back to a safe spot to rest for the evening.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to be in a bed. It's been a while, really, since we've had a nice, comfy place to sleep.
Yeah, it has.
Rack's gonna look down at Anarnek and go, "Where's Straight Edge?"
I don't know.
Then he's just gonna go back to eating.
Did you guys get up to anything interesting after I left last night? I don't remember a whole lot.
Nah, nothing important. By this time, would we have found the?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
you guys would just be like slowly approaching the tanner. There's this is a fairly modest shop. It's not overly exciting. Basically built almost entirely out of flagstones, with a thatched roof there. There's a large wooden kind of post out on the one side within like a cross beam, attaching it from this post back to the house. Draped over the post, there are various skins of. I mean, it's hard to make out exactly what it all is. I mean, there's some of it that's obviously cowhide for leather. There's probably some elk or deer hides. As this is an area full of that sort of stuff. There's, skins of various animals out like curing in the sun, and then you can see an area where some of it is being fashioned into various items, boots, torso armor, etc., etc.
I would definitely walk over to somebody that is working in that area and
Yeah, there's a gentleman that looks up to you. He says, "Oh, good morning. And are you just traveling through Berdusk? I don't believe I've seen you before."
Yeah, we're new. We just got in last night. Would you by chance have some leather armor that maybe we could upgrade? And she's pointing to her one singular shoulder pad and the two tiny leather pads on her thighs being the only armor that she's wearing right now.
Okay, sure. He says, "Well, yes, I'm certainly. What can I offer you? I don't have much. It's I have let's see what he actually has. Excuse you. There you are. I mean, he has what's this? Yeah, he's like, I mean, I have a fair variety of leather armor. What is it that you're looking for?"
Well, I think both of us are, and she's gonna point to herself and Uther.
Mhm.
I just would like a little bit extra protection. So if you have anything that could meet those needs, Uther?
Yeah, I anything, like this leather armor maybe, or even, I don't know if you have any like hide type of armor maybe.
Sure, absolutely. So like he has a good variety of stuff. I mean, he has he kind of like shows various things to you. He says, like we have this hide over here. We have leather armor over there of basic time, basic, kind of your run of the mill stuff. Nothing very exciting. I have this stuff right here. It's again leather armor. Quite quite nice. It's very easy to remove if you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to I believe the appropriate term is doff. If you need to doff the armor, it can be done quite quickly. And I have that made for both leather and hide. Yeah. And what else might you be looking for?
You wouldn't by chance have like anything that's enchanted or anything, would you?
He says, "Oh, I'm sorry." He says, we're a touch too small for stuff like that." He says, your best bet would be to either start in go look like Scornable, possibly even like Baldur's Gate would absolutely have something like that. I'm afraid it's too hard to get that sort of equipment into this shop, and then once it's here, it just happens to sit. Like we're not one much of adventurers. I mean, this armor, people get this sort of armor so that they can go hunt and maybe fend off the odd little kobold or a goblin that comes out of the woods to the west a little bit, or to the east. Not not you know, not for people going into war. People who are going into war would generally go to like one of the more major cities.
Ah, I see. I understand. Well, might you have any leather conditioner or anything like that that we can get to at least upkeep ours that we're wearing until we can find better stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. He's like, yes, I mean, I have some fine oil that would be usable for maintaining armor. It's it's really nothing fancy. I mean, I could give you more than enough for the both of you, realistically, for I don't know, say a gold one gold piece, and it'll get you some the finest oil that will grace your armor.
Done. And she pulls out a gold coin.
Okay. Yeah, he like he takes it from you and kind of like holds it in his, he has his like hands clenched, not with his fingers intertwined, but kind of, like the set of fingers in between the thumb and the pointer of each hand. And he goes, he kind of like clasps the gold coin and like gestures his hands kind of up towards you and towards the sky a little bit. He says, "Thank you so much." He says, "This this money will help me feed my family for the next few weeks. I cannot thank you. I cannot thank you enough."
Well, hopefully next time we run through, I can come back and get some more oil from you.
He says, I would be overjoyed, and I will ensure to have the finest oil for you once again." And he says, if you intend to come back through, I will I might even keep a lookout for a set or possibly even two of some enchanted armor that I could possibly hold back for you.
Thank you. Your name, sir?
Jack Laquette. So JAQLE''QUET. Jack Laquette.
It was a pleasure meeting you. Rack, Uther, you guys good?
Rack actually didn't enter the shop. He took one look in there and realized there's a bunch of hides everywhere, and then found out what a tanner really is. And then he said,
Oh, my
nope,
bad.
and he stood outside the shop.
he just takes one look, gives it a big old nope, and is like, I'll be out here.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's been like wiping like his dirty hooves on like the side of the building, like, with his back towards it, just trying to just clean his mud off and treat the place as a doormat.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Thank you, sir. For the oil. You do some fine work here.
Says, thank you very much. It's he says, honestly, it's not much. I'm in all honesty, for being a small town, I mean, I do what I can to try and stay away from problems, and just hope the problems stay away from me.
Jack, is there a magic shop or a potion shop in town, or?
He says, I mean, there is an apothecary, yes. Again, there's not much. There's not much here. I think some of the stuff you'd probably be likely to find there. I'm not sure if it's something you're interested in or not. I mean, there'd be potions that would probably, maybe some potions that would help you track a little better. There might be a scroll or something that might allow you to move faster for a short period of time, something like that. But if that's something you're interested in, it's just over in that direction. He kind of points further down the road, that in the like in the direction that you were heading anyways. Like you were kind of heading down a road. You stopped in at the tanner. He just points like further down the road. He says, "Oh, it's about 5 or 6 more buildings just further down there, again to the right hand side."
Oh, I don't need any of that stuff. I'm good at what I do.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Jack. And she just kind of awkwardly walks out the door.
Can
Sounds
you
good.
can you recommend any sort of like a Fletcher or someone who might work with a bow and arrow type of thing in town here?
He says, "Yeah, absolutely. The hunter, like there's quite a bit of a hunter's lodge there. It's actually just next door here. There's it doesn't look like much. I mean, it very much actually looks like a house, but once you go inside, you'll notice that it's quite well set up with it's a place where many of the hunters kind of come in and clean their clean their kills and all that kind of jazz. Also, you'd be able to find someone who could make you arrows or something like that if you were so inclined."
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And that is where Uther would want to go next, is to look into the hunter's place.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that right now. Yeah, as you walk to the building next door, this one's kind of made. It's definitely like a flagstone foundation, and then there's various timbers and that have been stacked up over top. You notice that there's like a definite aroma of death, kind of like coming out from inside of this thing. Not necessarily like any specific like anything that's distinguishable. It just smells like a butcher shop, right? Like a place where people are cleaning kills and cutting up meat, and there's just that aroma of death in the air.
Is the hunter around? Would I be able to see him? Or
Oh, there's a few. There's multiples in there. It looks like this is I mean, like this building must be owned by someone, but it looks like it's kind of made not as much like a shop, but more as like a lodge, you know what I mean, where people who are in the area are welcome to come in and use the facilities, and then in return they would either donate some of their kill or pay in some money or leave the hide or whatever they some sort of reasonable payment would be left for use of said facility.
okay, so I'd like to go up to, I guess, whoever seems to be in charge and just say, does anyone know? I'm looking for a decent longbow. I think I've gotten pretty good with this short bow, and I'd like to get a longbow instead. Does anybody happen to have one that I'd be able to get at all?
Sure. There's a fairly large man. He definitely stands out to you, like even right as soon as you walk in. This is a very muscular, kind of like a half orc. His skin is like kind of like a pale, like a browny red almost. He doesn't really look like a lot of the orcs you've seen before, but he kind of like he kind of like looks at you. He says, He says, "Welcome to the Hunter's Lodge. My name is Ulagraph, and I could probably sort you out here."
That'd be great. I've been doing more and more with my bow, and then sometimes I think that a longbow might be a little bit more powerful. We've had some issues with some like dragon-like beasts lately, and so power is kind of a big deal.
His eyes kind of narrow just a little bit. This is interesting. I don't suppose that this, was this nearby that you ran into this dragon? Is there reason for the town of Berdusk to be concerned about this situation?
I
Sorry to interrupt, but
Mhm.
so Rack entered the shop and he's kind of just like listening over this conversation. Is there any way to
Mhm.
like sense like how he feels about this? If he's like trying to be like angry or worried, like is there any way to like if he's at some sort of malicious intent, because whenever he sees somebody kind of slightly, looking somebody over and like worried, he's trying to check on Uther and make sure he's not in any danger, any trouble.
Make an insight check.
That'll be a 19.
You sense that he is concerned, like his you can like the reason for him asking, for as far as you can tell, is that he is concerned. He is concerned for the town and the well-being. Like it is genuine concern that you don't really sense any sort of ulterior motive.
Then Rack just kind of looks away and begins going back to just looking around.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think Berdusk is in danger. It was near Greenest and a little bit south of Greenest, so I mean, you guys may want to keep a watch, but it seemed like they were heading more towards like the coast area.
Okay, his eyes kind of narrow a little bit on you a little bit. He kind of takes a long pause as he kind of like looks you up and down a little bit, kind of like glances over towards Rack and gives him a little bit of a look as well. He says, well, all right. I will spread the word of this. I do hope that those in Greenest are safe. As for your longbow, however, I can give you one of my finest. It'll be 55 gold. I recently put a new string on it just a couple days ago. Hasn't really been shot since, but I give you my word that it'll shoot true.
Excellent. Yeah, that would be great. I have this short bow. I probably won't be needing it, so would I be able to, trade that in for, would it be worth anything off the price at all?
Yeah, absolutely. He can give you, he says, sure. Says, I can always make use of a short bow. Says I can give you, he says, if you give me the short bow and 30 gold, we'll call it good.
Great. Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you very much. Ullagraph, was it, right?
It is yes, it is Ullagraph. So U''Legraf.
Excellent.
What great names. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Do you happen to have any special kind of arrows at all? I mean, I don't know if you have any that have like, special abilities, or even like one that would have a net type of like a binding arrow or anything like that.
He says, well, I can sell you a net if you're looking for one, but the arrows we have here are, again, we're just they're kind of meant for hunting. And I don't mean to come across as a little too brash, but we don't exactly hunt for pets. We hunt to eat.
No, okay, no, that works. Actually, I would take a net if you want to throw that in there too, and just let me know what I owe you.
So it's the short bow plus 30 gold plus a net. A net will cost you oh fuck, nothing. A net will cost you another 3 gold, so 33 gold.
Okay, sounds good. So I give him 33 gold and a short bow.
Sounds good.
Annanek's gonna lean into Rack and whisper, so only Rack can hear him. I really don't like this guy.
Rack's gonna turn to her and say in Minotaur, "Neither do I." And then he's just gonna kind of observe, but just keeping like one eye on him and one eye just looking around the room.
Sure. Yeah, in there there's there's 2 other hunters in there. You can see like one of them is in the process of like just butchering some meat from some animal. You can't quite tell what it is. And then the other hunter is in the midst of skinning a deer on a table off in one corner. They both are very much focused on what they're doing and don't really they're not paying any attention to you guys.
They're doing it wrong. You see that? You see that, Rack? He's destroying the meat.
Well, depending on what kind it is, I'd just eat it raw anyway. But that's just me.
That's fair. Uther, you done in here? I don't like this guy.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Thanks. Thank you, Uligraph. Have a good day.
He doesn't say anything. He just kind of nods to you. Crosses his arms across his chest and just kind of leans back against the wall.
Internet glares at him as they leave.
He sees, he like makes eye contact with you and doesn't change his expression at all.
Should we go find the other fellows?
I think I'm pretty good for in town here.
Where'd we leave old man Nero? He's probably still sleeping, isn't he?
Nero found a hill to do weird old man yoga on.
Like
I fucking love this.
Doing the sleeping dragon.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
I mean, I picture him more like Uncle Nero from Avatar: Last Airbender. Like he
Nice.
looks like he can't get around much, but put him in a fight and he can whoop some ass, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do-
During this whole
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say during this whole this whole escapade, Draxton, what are you up to?
After stretching my wings in the inside my room in the tavern, putting my cloak over them to hide them, to look slightly less weird as a tiefling. I would also head over to the tanners.
Yep. So are you heading over there? Would you have kind of been there with the other members of the group, or would you have kind of like hung back and just done it on your own, or like what's the give me a bit of a rundown here.
I probably would have waited for them to leave and then gone on my own.
It's fair. Okay. So yeah, you as you kind of like you leave, you approach the tanners. Again, he Jack kind of looks up from what he's doing. He's busy like threading, running some thread through a couple pieces of leather. It looks like he's making a pair of boots or something like that. And he looks up at you, says, "Oh, good day, sir. Welcome to my tannery. What can I? Is there something I can help you with?"
Yes, I'm looking to either purchase or order a kind of specialty type of gear.
Okay. He says, "Please tell me more."
I will proceed to explain to him basically a bandolier, but with the item loops a little bit bigger so as to be able to hold a dagger.
Okay. He kind of like he continues to like thread these boots while he listens. He says, all right. He says, so similar to like a belt then, just something you would wear across the body. All right, good. Yes. He says, I can do this. Loops, yes, certainly. Probably like a clasp, like a belt. Okay, no problem. Yes, okay. Hey, yes. Okay, this is all something I can do. He says, I can modify he says, I have he says, I is a strip of leather with some loops and a clasp. That should not be an issue. I can probably have that made for you really realistically. I mean, within an hour. As I mean, again, just loops to hold daggers, not a problem.
Excellent. I would like it to be able to hold maybe five or six daggers, if that is possible.
Okay. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I could make that happen, sure. Trying to think of what that he says. Yeah, we can do that. That will cost you. I mean, it is a little bit of a specialty item. It'll take me the better part of an hour to get this thing organized. He kind of like puts the set of boots down, and he like you can see him start to flip through some like a pile of cured leather that he has of various shapes and sizes. He's kind of like, yeah, I can make that for you probably within an hour. Bit of a specialty item, make some loops, a little bit of iron for the clasp. He says, I think I could probably do that for you for about 15 gold pieces. He says, I understand it's a little expensive, but I mean, this is not something that gets made every day.
You were quite right. I will then hand him 15 gold.
He kind of like takes it in his hands, and again he makes very much the same gesture towards you, and then up towards the sky as he did towards Anderneck there. He says, good sir, you honor me. He says, I will admit I don't get a lot of work outside of the usual, boots here, repair this there. He says, this is going to make my life and my family's life significantly better. Thank you kindly. I will get to work on it right away, and I will see you in about an hour.
Thank you very kindly. And I will head off.
Sounds good. So you would probably be talking to the tanner as Anderneck and Rack and Uther are all in the hunting lodge. The old man is busy doing old man yoga on a hill. It is canon. He's doing downward demon and I don't know, Necronomicon position or something. Okay. Yeah, it's about an hour. It's about an hour until that bandolier is going to be done. Also, again, they're just putting the final touches on the palanquin. So you guys have about an hour. Is there anything pressing you guys intend on doing within that hour, or do we just or do we just say an hour passes and things carry on?
I've got nothing.
I was gonna say the hour passing is fine, but I will say that while like Anarnek and Uther and Rax walking through the town, as he's passing by people, because it's free time and he's just kind of not sure what to do with it. While they're passing by people and he's trying to look at all the people, he's getting unnaturally close to them sometimes, like, and bending down to just really inspect what they're doing. He's just not used to seeing people just being and going about their business. So he's kind of pretty like he doesn't understand personal barriers.
Sure. No problem.
Sorry, Wayne, go ahead.
Okay, no, that's cool. Like as you're doing this, you kind of get you get like very mixed reactions. Generally speaking, a lot of the reactions you get towards that sort of stuff are like reactions of fear. So people kind of like back away from you. There's a couple like a mother with her child kind of thing, and she like kind of like gets kind of gets like a hold of her child kind of thing, and like ensures that her child is like particularly close to her, stuff like that. Yeah.
With the lady pulling her child away from Rack, Anna would take a step towards her and hiss at the lady.
Okay. Yeah, she very much like she like grabs her child and they move way over to the side of the side of the road.
In Minotaur, she's gonna look up at Rack. Just ignore them.
Rack, after like seeing their exchange, just again, yeah, he's people watching, as Draxon says. He's just kind of like looking around and watching them. And after the hiss exchange and her saying that, he's just gonna kind of like shake his head and and just kind of listen to what she says, but at the same time still continue to do his business as he's walking and kind of just getting really close to people and just doing what he's been doing so far.
In Minotaur, she's gonna say, Rack, maybe not get so close in their personal bubble. Looking and observing is fine, my friend, but personal space, man.
Rack's gonna give her a puzzled look, but kind of nod. And when he starts to bend down, he does it from like a far off distance. So now he just looks like like he's doing the same thing, but now he's keeping his distance from people, pretending as if there's a bubble there.
I like it.
Sweet. Okay.
So where do you guys think? Hey, is that Draxon over there?
No, it's not.
Oh, so we don't see you yet?
No, you can. It was just a juke.
I don't know if you're stealthing, man.
No, not currently.
Hey, Draxon.
Huh? Oh. Morning.
Oh, hey, you're looking perky.
I guess.
Hey, you seen old man this morning?
He was doing some stretches, I think.
Well, should we go find him and get him back to the carriage and get started with their day? What do you guys want to do?
Is with Rack's height, is he able to spot the hill that old man Nero's on?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Rack's gonna just generally point in the direction of where Old Man Nero is, and he's gonna be like, "Old man's over there," and he's like gonna like stare at him even strange because he doesn't understand the whole pose thing, and he's gonna start trying to like form some of the poses with his hands, like to try to understand them.
Okay.
I guess we're in that direction.
Okay. Yeah, you guys make your way over to where Nero is yeah, you make your way over to where Nero is doing his stretching. Yeah, and you meet up with him, no problem.
Oh, is it time to go already?
If you're ready, I think the carriage is just about done. I believe all of us did like a little bit of shopping this morning. Was there anything you needed?
No, I think I'm probably fine. I got my bag full of onions is still pretty full, so I think we'll probably be okay all the way to El Trail.
Well, whenever you're done with your stretching, I guess we could head to the carriage. Yeah, guys.
Well, I could pack up anytime. Let's get a move on.
Skedaddle, shall we?
Rack turns around and starts heading straight towards where the carriage, where the palanquin would be, without a word said.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, yeah, you guys kind of wrap it up, get back to your palanquin, get back to like it'd be easy enough for you to either Draxon, it'd be easy enough for you to either, you know, announce that you were going to pick up this bandolier or just slip off and pick up this bandolier. It's really not much of a thing.
I would keep it a secret.
Okay. So when you pick it up, like what are your plans? Are you planning to like wear it right away, or?
Yeah, I'm going to wear it, but try and keep it covered with my cloak that I'm wearing.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, yeah. So you guys make it back to the palanquin. You are now there you go. You are now ready to get back on the road again. It is still relatively early morning now on the effectively the third day of travel. It took you about 2 days to get up to Berdusk. Took you about 2 days to get up to Berdusk. You spent the evening plus some. I mean, it's taken nearly a full day. So this is realistically the third day of travel. You kind of see Leosin looking rather impatient as you guys kind of like gather up to leave.
Oh, hey, forgot about you. How you doing?
Says I've been well. I'm well. I have been you know, preparing and meditating, and I look forward to getting up to Elturel to meet up with the Order of the Gauntlet. Yes, it's I believe it is time for us to go. Yes.
Rack's gonna examine the palanquin and try to open the door and climb on in.
As you open the door opens just like normal. As you climb in, you definitely hear like some fresh creaking and you can kind of feel a little bits of strain, but it definitely feels sturdy. Leosin kind of like looks over the palanquin and he's like, well, this is a nice nice modifications you've made here. Nice, lovely, good.
You wanna ride it with Rack?
No. So I think that'll be fine. I'm more than happy to just take this horse and ride. And
You know,
yes.
we can take turns if you want. It's probably fine. You know, you seem like you really like this thing. So
he just he just kind of like doesn't really say anything and you know kind of starts to like he gives his horse like a small kick so it starts to walk out of the city.
cool. I guess we're going then. All right. Let's get a move on then.
I turn into a horse.
Okay.
I too turn into a horse, but it's going to be significantly larger than Uther.
Okay. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So Uther, yeah, you turn into like this really nice kind of like, you know, spotted like a pinto horse kind of thing. Really nice looking horse. And then as you start, like, you know, as you get yourself comfortable in your new horse form, you look over beside you and you see Anderneck has kind of turned into one of those, like, you know, like the Budweiser Clydesdales. And it is like a full foot like taller than you are, even on all fours.
Yeah, I'm a war horse.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Can you do that, Uther? Oh. Was that a yes?
I just start walking away, my head down, kind of, you know, weaving back and forth slightly.
That's what a drunk horse looks like, huh?
Anderneck's going to make a little laughing neigh at Nero's comment and start trotting off.
Let's get going.
Okay, so yeah, so as you guys leave out of Berdusk, the group of you are headed north, to following kind of that dotted path. The darkened lines are more or less very well traveled roads. The dotted lines are slightly less well traveled, but they're still like developed pathways. So as you guys make your way up towards Scornable, is there anything you guys would like? It's going to take you approximately 2 days to get from Berdusk up to Scornable. Yeah. So you're definitely going to be sleeping on the road twice. And you will be arriving kind of around noon-ish, possibly even early afternoon, into Scornable on the third day. Again, because you are traveling on a fairly established, on a reasonably established pathway, you are not going to have to worry too much about. You're not going to be worrying too much about road events.
Is Scornable known for anything?
Not particularly. It's a larger city. It is a larger city. Man, I have a reasonable picture of it, but it's not like Scornable is larger than than Greenest, like significantly. It's very much made up of like a very, very vast, like you see people of all sorts. You see Dragonborn, you see tieflings, you see again ogres and like half ogres and orcs. You see like even a Goliath or two walking around in there. It is like there's a city guard here, like a very well established city guard. It yeah. That's there's nothing like there's a there's like a, you can tell that there's like an actual kind of a government building. There is like a set of buildings that you hear people talk about as being the free traders buildings, which kind of sounds it's it's kind of like a group of like it's like a group, almost like a, man, how to explain this? It's just like a group that seems to kind of not necessarily control the city, but it like a group that very much has their hands within deeply rooted within the trade of the city. Like no sort of trading happens within the city without the free traders group knowing about it.
Is the word you're looking for guild?
That's a great word for it. Yes, thank you. So you've you pull into there slightly in the afternoon of your, took you to, so you're on like day 4.5 right now of travel.
And we're actually in Scornable now.
Correct.
Do we need to stop, or should we keep going?
I don't need anything here. Still got a bunch of onions. You?
Is there anything to kill?
I mean, we could probably stop anywhere and kill stuff if that's all you're. But I mean, nothing like bad. Well, I mean, there's probably bad people here. Well, we probably don't have time to go hunting down bad people. Short answer, probably not.
Rack just like gives a disappointed look and then like just sits back down in the thing and doesn't even look through the window anymore.
I know. I'm sorry. So, I see no reason to stop here myself.
Fair enough. Yeah. Does anybody have anything that they want to stop for?
Nope.
I think I'm good.
Okay. So you guys carry on. So that is 4.5. Takes you another 2.5 or 2 days, anyways. So you are on day 6.5. Okay, so on day 6.5, you roll into the town of, well, the city of Eltruel. This is again larger than Berdusk and larger than Greenest, but not as big as Scornable. This is a fairly orderly, reasonably sized city. This dark black line that kind of goes just underneath the dot there for Eltruel is the Chionthar River. So it does sit on the river. You find a lot of within the city. You find a lot of merchants, right? You find a lot of merchants. There's a lot of people kind of doing trade. There's lots of people traveling. This seems like a reasonable stopping area between Scornable and Baldur's Gate. You find that there's a lot of people that are even traveling up and down the river. Lots of people in little boats making their way up and down the river with trade goods and that sort of stuff, as the river is not necessarily it's faster in a sense, and it's relatively safe in this area. The biggest concerns of this whole area are, of course, the woods to the south of Eltruel there. As you approach Eltruel, one thing that definitely stands out to you is that there is a bright magical light that kind of hovers over top of it. Eltruel doesn't really have as much of a day-night cycle, at least within the city. The city and surrounding area that is illuminated by this light, it is it's visible. It's like even as you're about a day outside of Scornable, so about halfway in between Scornable and Eltruel, you can see the light, but it just, as you see it in the evening and that, you just think it's a particularly odd looking star. Like it's a star that just happens to sit quite low in the sky. The closer and closer you get to Eltruel, you realize that it's not a star at all, but a brilliant light that is hovering above the city. As you guys kind of get in, Leosin says, "Well, we must let us try and find the headquarters of Onthar. The Order of the Gauntlet. I've heard that they're within one of the taverns here, but I don't really know. We should track down where they're at. We must speak with Onthar as soon as possible."
Rack is gonna poke his head out and be like, "Well, did you try asking somebody?"
He just kind of he kind of seems a little taken aback. He's like, "Oh, right, yes, sure." And he sees a couple. He sees some people walking by. He says, "You there? Excuse me. I'm looking for one Mr. Onthar Froome. Can you please direct me to where I might find him?" The lady kind of looks up at him and says, "Oh, yes, you can. He's he and his faction can be found over at the Pair of Black Antlers. It's a tavern just over on the other side of town there." With that information, Leosin goes, "Oh, thank you very much." He says, "Let's go. I'm headed there right now. Let's go." And he immediately just kind of turns away from you and starts heading off towards the far western side of the town.
Rack is tired of riding, so he's going to get out and kind of generally follow in that direction. Being cooped up in the tiny space for so long looks like it seems to have upset him, so he's going to follow on foot the best he can.
Okay.
And her neck would still be a horse, and she would definitely be walking next to Rack.
Okay. You guys are headed towards the You're headed towards the pair of black antlers.
Uther is just gonna change back into a human and kind of walk behind them. He doesn't really want to look Anarnek in the eye as a horse.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay. So as you kind of get closer and closer to this to the pair of Black Antlers tavern, you hear, as you get closer and closer, you can hear the sounds of merriment kind of going on. Even as you approach, there's a good amount of there's a good amount of, like, you know, you can hear the sound of a bard playing inside, and there's lots of laughter and general conversation coming out from inside of the bar. You can hear the sound of, like, cheersing mugs and the oohs and ahs of feats of strength and like arm wrestling and stuff like that happening. Outside of the tavern, you can see, like, a bunch of horses kind of hitched outside. A lot of these horses are, like, they show signs of combat, so, like, scars on the bodies, stuff like that. They, like, a lot of them are wearing various forms of armor on them, and you also see that there's like a few, like, jousting pikes, like, resting up against, like, in a corner outside of the jousting pikes. Anyways, you get the point. Kind of leaned up outside of the tavern.
As they got closer and hearing the sounds you have described and seeing what's before him, Anarnek would have definitely dropped form and got a little perk in her step.
Okay. Okay.
Rack would have already probably been up to the door, like, even before Leosin could hop off his horse and getting ready to walk inside and getting ready to open the doors.
Sure. Okay. So you're yeah, so this is again, this is, like, keep in mind, this is, like, early afternoon, right? So this is probably somewhere around 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon. You guys have made your way into town, made your way across to the other side of the town, and have now approached this. It definitely, I mean, it doesn't strike you as completely absurd to hear, like, this level of raucous, like, this early in the day, but it does kind of, I mean, it does kind of, like, stick in the back of your head that, like, man, isn't this a touch on the early side to be going crazy like this? All the same.
Before Rack opens the door, is there any way to peer inside? Is this like a old, like a Western kind of, like, the saloon doors, or is this, like, just a full on, you know, actual, like, you know, normal door?
Oh, I mean, like, there are windows. It is a normal door, but there are windows, like, around this, like, on the, you know, on the main floor of this. You'd be able to see in.
Okay, Rack, before walking in, is going to peer inside and see what he sees.
Sure. Inside you see a fairly well-to-do tavern. You know, a large fireplace in the one side, with a dim fire in it. Couple, you know, a bunch of oil lanterns and that providing light here and there. Bartender and a couple barmaids running around, doling out food and drinks, mostly drinks. It kind of reminds you of something you would see in I mean, what would be nowadays like something you would see in like Oktoberfest kind of thing. You can definitely see there's folks there that are there's a couple guys inside that are arm wrestling with a pile of coins kind of put down in between the two of them. There are people who like there's a person off in the one side who's like drawing something on like what appears to be almost like a couple columns on a board like up on the one end of the wall there. That again, I mean, I don't know that you'd necessarily be able to make it out, but fuck, I'll give it to you anyways. It's like he's like taking bets and like making arrangements for sparring and Fight Club style setups. There's also another board over in the one side that has like jousting matches and stuff like that are all lined up.
And then with that, Rack is where is Leosin already? Like he already got his horse tied up and he's up to the door?
He is in the process of tying up his horse while you are looking in through the window.
I would say while Rack's looking through the window, he would actually see Anarnek walking inside.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you also see Anarnek walking inside.
With that, Rack is gonna follow and slowly start making his way inside of the.
Sure. As like Anarnek and Rack and anybody else who chooses to follow, as you guys make your way inside, many of the patrons in this bar don't even make any sort of acknowledgement of you being in there. The barkeep and the waitresses there, they see you and they're like, oh, welcome in. Be with you in just a second. As they run like another set of drinks around to the patrons. They seem like the bartender, the waitresses almost seem a little bit run off their feet in a sense. Like they are definitely busy in here. They're able to keep up, but it's a bit of a struggle. Yeah, the general atmosphere within this tavern is like, again, it's very boisterous. It's very I don't want to use the term boys club because that's not appropriate especially at this point in time in the world, but it does kind of feel like a boys club, almost like a motorcycle gang kind of like flop house kind of thing. Like it's sorry,
like a rough and tumble type of.
Yeah, I mean it's but not like, but meant with like, but not meant with any sort of malice. Like it's just kind of a yeah, like it's all good fun. But this is very much like a clubhouse kind of thing, right? So it very much has a clubhouse feel where people are just like all of sort of like the combats and the sparring and the riding contests and the arm wrestling and the continued drinking and all that sort of stuff. It's all meant with like good fun intended. It like nobody's out there trying to actually harm anyone. And you guys are Anarnek, you've walked in. Rack, you are walking in. Leosin is following as well.
I wake up and go in.
Yeah. All right. You also have we have Old Man Nero who's walking in. Uther and Draxon, what are you two doing?
I would be following them in as well.
Sure. Draxon.
I would like to sneak off and see if I can find the shadier part of town.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we'll deal with you in a bit. All right. So yeah, so you as Lewison like makes his way in, you can kind of see him like push his way past you, Anarnek, and he like walks up to a couple of the patrons who are sitting there drinking in there, and he says, "Excuse me, I'm looking for I'm looking for Onthar. Is where where can I find him? Um, do you know where he is?" You see like kind of like the couple patrons kind of look at him up at him, is like, man, just fucking relax and just go get a beer or something. Like don't fucking bug me. Can you not see that I'm just trying to have a beer and enjoy my time?
At this time, Rax sees that there's guys arm wrestling, and then he goes over and just stands and watches. So he probably didn't even hear any of that.
That's fair. Okay.
I'll wander up to the bar with Leosin, and I'll see if I can get something out of the bartender, I guess.
Okay, sure.
Sorry if my friend came off a little bit, how do you say, impatient here. Yeah, we'll take some. I'm sure my friends and I will be taking a table somewhere, but we are looking for a man. So, just get us a couple rounds of just stuff, and maybe you can help us out a little bit.
Okay, sure. Says right, couple rounds. There appears to be he kind of like counts. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, including this guy.
He just drinks like tepid water. It's probably fine. Don't worry about him.
Gross. He goes, oh, okay, so 4 of you then. He says, well, I mean, a couple rounds. I mean, I can get you squared away for a gold piece or so. Sorry, who did you say you were looking for?
On Star Zoom, I think.
It's like, oh, you must mean Onthar Froome. Sure, yes. I mean, he hasn't made his way in yet today, but I'm sure that this thing happens. I mean, just between you and I mean, for a paladin of his stature, well, I mean, let's be realistic. That's probably fluffing him up a little too much. But I mean, for a paladin, you'd think he would be a little more pious, I suppose. But yes.
Maybe he's just working for the wrong god, if you know what I mean. But
fair enough.
Well, we'll probably just hang out here and have a bit of a rest, and probably drink a whole bunch. So we'll find ourselves a table, and we'll just just keep them coming for the time being.
Very good, sir. Very good. Sounds great. Yes.
Rack is going to get close to the 2 guys arm wrestling because he doesn't understand it, and go and just like, is this wrestling?
There's a bit of a crowd kind of watching them as well. They kind of look up at you, and they're like, the one guy kind of gives you like a single raised eyebrow look. He says, this is arm wrestling? All right. Yes. He's like, this is arm wrestling. He says, look, how about this? How about you and I go? He says, I mean, you look mighty strong, but I don't know. What do you say we put what do you say we put a gold on it? You and I, a gold.
And Rack is gonna he's just gonna be like, okay. And then like he kind of just sits down at the table with the guy, just basically kind of mimicking what he does to try to understand it, and putting his arm up on the table and everything, and just acting like like he knows what he's doing, but he really doesn't know what he's doing.
Sure. Okay.
I would like to place a bet.
You'd like to place a bet? Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet on Rack.
Okay, so the way the betting is going to work is it's just going to be straight up 2-1. Like whatever you invest, if you win, you get double it out. If you lose, you lose. Right? Plain and simple.
All right, and he also puts his coin on the table because he's just following what what everybody else is doing.
Okay. Yeah, you see a couple others like, ooh, as ooh and ah as they kind of see like Rack sit down here, and you can see eventually you see like a small stack of coins piled up on the table. Andernek, how much are you gonna bet?
Annernek's gonna take out a rather hefty bag of gold and put 100 down on Rack.
Okay.
That's a hell of a whole lot. Whoa. I'm just kidding. It's outside of character. I'm just you're good.
Hey, yeah, like you start hearing like the oohs and ahs are now getting like huge, and you see all kinds of bets on both sides coming in. The two guys who initially were arm wrestling, when they hear and kind of see the bag of gold hit the table, they just like end up stopping what they're doing, and they like just start paying attention to Rack and this other gentleman. This other gentleman he's a large muscle built human, bald head with a fairly long goatee that's pulled into a very tight braid. And he just kind of like stares. He just kind of stares at you, Rack, with some beady eyes, and he says, "So you know how to do this, right?"
Well, first thing is while Rack's copying him because he probably put his like right hand on the table.
Yep.
Rack's gonna put his left hand on the table.
Okay.
And then he's like, "Sorry, go ahead."
No, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna assume that he's a lefty. Is what I was gonna say.
So the guy puts his right hand down on the table. You're sitting across from him. You put your left hand down on the table. He's like, the guy just kind of looks at you. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He says, "Do you actually not know how to arm wrestle?"
I'm a minotaur. And then like just kind of like squints at him.
He just kind of like looks at you and says, "I don't know what that is supposed to mean, but get the other damn arm up here."
And then Rack's gonna put his he's gonna pull his left arm back and put his right arm on the table, and and then try to, I guess, asymmetrical mimic him. Then
Okay. So a third guy kind of like steps in, like just almost as like a referee kind of thing. He says, "All right, seeing as though apparently we have someone here who somehow has managed to get through life without knowing what arm wrestling is, but here we go." Says, "So simple thing, and this is like partially in character, partially out of character. I'm the DM. Just let me roll with this, please." He says, "Here's what we're going to do. You guys are going to put your hands together. You're going to start in the dead center. What's going to happen is you guys, this is the out of character part. You guys are going to make opposed strength checks. This guy has a +2 to strength. Rack, you have a +3 to strength. So you guys are going to roll a d20. Rack, you're going to add +3. I'm going to add +2. Whatever the higher value is, it's going to start to sway. I will explain to you how close you are. It's not going to be like a best of one roll. There's definitely going to be a little bit of give and take going back and forth with this thing. The best part is I guarantee you that Sheila will know exactly where I got this idea from, but that we'll talk about after the session. He says, what's going to happen? He's like, "I will keep my hands on top of your hands to keep you folks centered. When I say 1, 2, 3, go, you guys are going to start going. Whoever can manage to push the other one's arm down onto the table wins. And then bets will be paid out."
As I say, Rack is gonna look up at him and nod, and then look at the other guy and then like begin gritting his teeth and like getting a nice grip ready.
Sure.
You got this, Rack.
Okay. So the guy sits there and he like is holding both of your hands together within his hands, like a referee kind of would do in an arm wrestling thing. He's all right, guys, and 3, 2, 1, begin. And he like takes his hands off of your hands. Go ahead and roll a d20 and add 3 to it.
22.
Okay. So Rack, you just like you feel this guy. You can feel this guy like starting to apply a ton of pressure towards your hand. You can feel him starting to push your hand ever so slightly towards the table. As this happens, you feel like a certain sense of like, I don't want to say anger, but like a bit of adrenaline like start to build up towards you, and you start just pushing back on it, and you can start to feel this guy's hands start to slide backwards towards the table. You are slowly overpowering this gentleman. He is you can see like a little bit of sweat, just a little tiny bit of sweat starting to form on his brow. Roll again.
A 10 this time.
Okay. Okay, so again, as you guys are fighting, this one is like this time you guys are like fighting, you're going back and forth. It starts to slide just a little bit back towards the center, but you manage to hold it. You manage to hold it exactly where it is. Roll again.
An 8.
Okay, this guy.
It should have been a one shot.
This guy is like sweating relatively profusely now. He seems to be having a hard time. You can kind of see he takes his left hand and he just like quickly wipes a bit of sweat off of his brow. As this happens, he kind of eases up on the pressure a little bit, and you manage to push his arm significantly closer to the table. He like catches himself just a bit right before his hand hits the table, and he starts to holds you firm there. His eyes kind of narrow, and he just like grits his teeth a little bit and starts going towards you. Go ahead and roll again.
Come on, Rack.
This time it is a 19.
Okay. As he's sitting there kind of like growling at you, like trying to stare you down a little bit, you kind of like, you give him like one more look and a bit of a snort, and you just kind of go, as you slam his hand down onto the table. The bar erupts in like a mixes of cheers and groans as people start to like, mourn or cheer about the bets that they have made. The guy who is the referee, he like grabs your arm and like holds it up, and he says, "Winner!" And again you hear like mixes of cheers and groans like echo throughout the bar.
Rack's gonna say, like, he's gonna go, "I may not know what arm wrestling is, but I can still kick ass." And then like he's gonna like enjoy and bask in the glory for a moment.
Okay.
Oh, Annernek's definitely cheering and celebrating with them for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, Anderneck, you can make sure that you have 200 gold now. The 100 you bet plus an additional 100.
Woohoo!
Perfect.
And then with that, Rack is gonna stand up and he's gonna go start heading over to get a drink.
Sure.
Anderneck is 100% looking to see if there's anybody that is willing to go blow for blow with her. This tiny little 5'2" half elf wanting to arm wrestle.
Wanting to arm wrestle?
Oh yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Is there other activities in the bar, or
I mean, like there's yeah, sure. There's you can so there's like arm wrestling. There is sparring, which is just non-lethal combat. There is you could like like there's there's like a bard in the corner. I mean, singing songs. Not that that's an activity, but that's another thing that's kind of happening. There's like horseback riding contests. There's like jousting. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna go arm wrestle.
Okay. Sure. I mean, yeah, we can definitely do that. Yeah, there's a gentleman who's interested in wrestling, arm wrestling with you. Kind of stares you down. He says, "Well, because I'm assuming you're like asking around for someone who's interested in arm wrestling."
Ananek would have sat in the empty spot that Rack got up from, waiting for somebody to sit across from her.
Oh, okay, sure. You can kind of see a couple of the guys in the bar like give you kind of like sneers, I guess, a little bit. And they go, what's the little lady doing sitting in the chair like that? You look like you're looking to go around.
Call me?
And he says, seems like the little lady doesn't hear too well either. I said, what is the little lady doing sitting in that chair?
Sorry, what did you say? I can't hear you.
He's like, old man. He says, I'm talking to this little lady here.
Why
I don't know.
You put your little ass in the little chair and I will show you.
Oh, well, very well. He says, care to put a wager on it? I wouldn't want to harm you too much.
Yeah.
It says, well, very well. It says, what would you like? What, like a gold little lady?
She drops her entire coin purse on the table.
Jesus Christ, what is that?
Want the total amount?
Yeah.
It'd be 329 gold.
Okay.
36 silver.
Fuck. Yeah, okay. So let's call it 332. Yeah, 332 gold.
Copper. Sure.
Yeah, just call it 330. 332 is more than enough. Fuck the copper. You can keep that in your coin purse. Yeah, fucking copper.
She cockily like drops the entire bag right there in front of him.
Okay.
She's already been drinking. That's what happened.
Yeah, seriously. He his eyes kind of get big at the sight of the money. He goes, oof. Well,
while he's looking at the bag, I'm gonna do like a whole like dusting off her arms type of thing, and I'm going to cast guidance on myself.
Okay, sure.
During this time, Rack is, with his drink in hand, going to walk over to the table to watch, and not understanding betting either, is just going to drop 75 gold onto the table. He just assumes that's the right amount. He doesn't know. He just grabbed a handful and it happened to be 75.
Sure, no problem. You can kind of see like the referee step in once again. He says, all right. He says, I will tell you now, we do have I mean, for purposes of keeping things relatively civil, as the last time, we let bets get a little too out of hand, there ended up being a bit of bloodshed in the tavern. Now, a little bit of friendly bloodshed is fine. A little bit of unfriendly bloodshed and murder is less fine. we cap all betting at 100 gold. So I noticed that you've dropped quite the sack on the table. It says, I just hope you understand that the 100 gold is the maximum to allow people to, maintain their livelihoods.
That's fair. And she's gonna pull back everything except for the 100.
Perfect. Okay. He says, all right, this, he says, I will warn you, this is this is the current tavern champion. But if you're sure you want to go into this, then let us get ready.
I mean, if he can handle himself with a little girl, we should be fine.
Says he kind of sneers a little bit and smirks, and he says, "Well, as you wish. Let us begin."
Nero's gonna use some magic to throw his voice and make like a ooh come from the other side of the tavern.
I love
Sounds
it.
good.
Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. They all like a bunch of the people in the tavern kind of like look around. They're like, "What in the fuck? Where did that come from?" Okay. Boop, boop, boop,
Rack
boop.
is gonna put his hand down on the table and he's gonna be like, "You got this," and then he's gonna stand back up.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, go. So yeah, you two clasp hands, and the referee, quote unquote, stands in there, puts his hands over top of yours. He says, "All right, 3, 2, 1, begin."
That'll be a 12.
Okay. Okay. So you guys like hold. You guys, you can feel the grip start to tighten between both of your hands, and you guys hold firm for a good bit of time, and then you can slowly start to feel just a little bit like a little bit of extra pressure as you can feel your hands starting to give just a little bit, and it kind of gets cocked over towards the table in favor of the gentleman just a little bit.
I imagine his hand just like smothers mine.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. Like this guy is an absolute beast. Like he is he is this actually, what would this guy be? Let's come up with a little something for this guy.
I love it.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, he is a he is a Goliath. That's what he is. He's a Goliath, and he is quite big. Go ahead and roll again.
That'll be a 6.
Okay. He again, you guys are like squaring each other down. You guys are looking at each other. You guys are like looking at each other, just like staring each other down. He kind of gets a little bit of a smirk come across his face a little bit as he pushes your hand down even closer to the table. He's like, poor little girl. As he kind of like cracks a grin. Go ahead and roll again.
With that, she grits her teeth and she starts to growl at him.
Okay.
You had 23.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, so as you get your teeth and you kind of growl at him a little bit, you like muster up a bit of primal strength from within you, and you slowly start to push his hand back up. Roll again.
I'm gonna add a D4 to that,
Sure.
so that'll be 15.
Okay. You guys so it's again, you guys are like kind of at you guys are kind of like at about a little bit more than a 45-degree angle, like a 60-degree angle off of the table there, and you guys are just locked. You guys are just staring each other down, like teeth gritting. He starts to kind of grunt and growl a little bit back at you. Both of you are starting to perspire a little bit. There's definitely like a bit of sweat coming down from the both of you. Neither of you make any headway. Roll again.
That would be a dirty 20.
Okay. You again, as you just seem to find yourself like holding firm here, you like start to slowly feel yourself starting to overcome this guy, and you end up going moving yourself back up to 12 o'clock, back up to straight 90 degrees off the table.
Does
Rack,
he seem surprised at that? Sorry.
Oh no, for sure.
I was going to say Rack is like he's stomping his foot. He's stomping his foot, and he's like raising his glass, and he's cheering, and he's trying to like build the crowd into a frenzy. Trying to get and her neck, and he's trying to like get the crowd to whip up with them and cheer for her.
Okay.
Get advantage for that, DM.
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit.
Okay.
It distracted her. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, you kind of got like, you kind of got a little bit overconfident a little bit with all the cheering and that sort of stuff. So you really start to like lean into it, and you think you're starting to make a bit of headway, but he just kind of like, the guy just presses your arm back down, and he's starting to take a little bit, starting to take control yet again. Keep rolling.
It's still at advantage or just straight rolls?
Just straight roll.
That'd be a 16.
Okay. You're like, you guys are fighting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You're back up. You're back up at 90 degrees. Roll again.
Freaking 7.
Okay, he did not roll that well either. You guys are deadlocked. This is twice that you've now like matched his roll exactly. It is, you guys are straight. You guys are straight locked right at 12 o'clock.
I feel like this is definitely the final arm match and over the top with Stallone. Yeah.
Seriously, that's totally it.
17.
Sorry, Rack, you wanted to say something.
She already rolled. Rack was gonna try to offer. He's like, do you need a mid-game refreshment? A mid-match refreshment.
She's just deadlocked, looking in this other dude's eye, like pure anger on her face.
Okay. You you start to push his arm down a little bit. You are now for the first time very firmly in the lead. Roll again.
Nat 20
Oof.
for 24.
There you go. Okay, yeah, you with like one final kind of like huff, and as sweat is just dripping down off of both of your faces, you kind of let out a bit of a primal like yawp at him. You know what I mean? Kind of like a primal like growl, grunt, yell, war cry, whatever you want to call it. And you slam his hand down onto the table.
Oh.
She's just gonna stand up, grab her coin, and say to him, "I hope you feel better, little girl."
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
What is that like? Sorry, I'm trying to do
Nope.
the math in my head. You can go do whatever. I'm trying to do the math in my head. I said I dropped 75, so is that like
150.
250? Oh, it's 150.
150 in return.
I
150.
can't do math. I can't do math. All right, 150.
Yeah, you're good.
She's definitely gonna grab the drink that Rack offered earlier. So
Rack's just
Gotcha.
gonna hand it away and then drop her 25 gold as well, and hand it to her, and then go get another drink. Kind of like an Ada girl,
I like it.
So 125, and you can give her 25 of mine.
Dope. Okay.
Okay, I got my math correctly. Thank you, Win.
Oh, no problem.
And her neck's spent, and she's just gonna be sitting quietly with Rack and the rest of the group and drinking her drinks.
Does Straight Edge want to arm wrestle? Like just Rack just messing around with him.
He says, no, I don't really have time for that kind of thing.
And then Rack just continues drinking.
Sure. So as you guys are drinking and enjoying yourselves, you see the guy who was kind of acting as the referee, if you will, kind of come over with a drink, and he asks, he says, do you mind if I take a seat at your table?
Rack kind of gives them a look, but doesn't say much, and just he just keeps staring at him, and that's really about it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, you could sit.
So he sits down. He says, so I overheard that you were you're looking for Onthar. What brings you to Elturel?
Nero,
Huh?
this guy's talking about the guy that you were talking about to the other guy about the guy.
On Arnthar Zoom, I think, is we're looking for him. Leosin here is looking for him. Actually, we're here to find a leader of some sort of band of people, and we're gonna do some good old fashioned fighting. Just the normal stuff.
Kind of looks just as well. He says, old Master Froome has, like I said, I haven't seen him. I mean, he did get a little crazy last night. He went a little hard on the drink. Again, nice guy. Just he's quite a good practical joker. Just he really appreciates the drink. I do hope he'll wander in at some point today, so to meet you. This is what but again, what business do you have with Onthar?
With that, is there any this person? Is there anything that like Rack can observe? Anything that maybe like he's just like basically looking him over, seeing if he has anything identifiable or if he's just some random guy.
Sure. Yeah, this guy, I mean, he really just kind of looks like a just like an average guy. I mean, he um let me quickly dig, see if there's anything. Yeah, like he definitely this guy, like, he has you can kind of see he's wearing a he's wearing like a symbol on a chain, or on like a rope, sorry, I should say, like, and by a rope I mean like a thin piece of like twine or something around his neck. He's wearing a symbol. Who would even know about that?
If it's mercenary related, Rack would know. He could.
It's religious. So I'm thinking, like, Uther, how much time would you have spent in cities?
Not a ton. Would have spent some time more in like a medium to large town. He was where he would have grown up.
Okay.
I think Nero grew up or worked in a city for most of his life, and he's
Yeah.
sort of a scholar. I mean, he could probably
Yeah,
do
there you
a
go.
religion check.
Yeah, go ahead and do a religion check. Yeah, go ahead and do a religion check. Just don't really flub it. There you go.
21.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is a right-handed gauntlet held upright with the palm forward. You recognize the symbol as the you recognize the holy symbol as like as this guy is a disciple of Torm, Torm. This is the god of like duty, loyalty, and righteousness within the mythos, or within the pantheon, if you will. So yeah, this guy, like he's wearing a holy symbol. Other than that, he's wearing very just like peasanty garb, like nothing special.
In that case, since Nero made the check, Rack did not. Rack is gonna just look at him and goes, "We want to punch a cult," and like that's, and then he just goes back to drinking.
I mean, he's pretty much got the long and short of it. I mean, we are in the. I don't know if you've heard the news out of Greenest, where there was a bunch of cultists and not small dragon burning the place to the ground, and so we sort of dealt with that in a way, and now we're here looking for help with the cult. So
He just kind of like sits there, like sipping at his drink a little bit, listening to the story of kind of what happened in Greenest, and he goes, "Geez, like, good Lord." He says, I definitely understand. He says, the order, he says, I'm sure that Onthar will have something. He says, like, he says, regardless, he says, like I said, we haven't seen Master Froome yet today, but I think it, regardless of this, I feel that it would probably be in your best interest to acquire some lodging, at least for the evening. I mean, even if he were to show up recently, I couldn't imagine. I imagine you guys are probably wary from travel, and he says, let's maybe I will, maybe I'll send some of the disciples out to go and possibly try and track him down. Like I said, he got a little rowdy last night. The sparring. He always does love. He loves to watch a good fight. As long as there's order to it, and as long as people aren't actively trying to kill each other. But he also does love to have a good drink. I will send a couple disciples out. I recommend you folks gather some lodging, and I will. I think that we should reconvene. Once that is dealt with.
Has this guy told us his name?
Oh sure, yeah, he can give you his name. Oh, you fell out.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Like, did you say his name and I just forgot it?
No, I did not. I did not give him a name.
I probably should have asked you earlier. Who are you? And is like Onthar with Torm as well?
He says, well, my apologies. I'm terrible at introducing myself. I don't. It's a character flaw of mine. I do apologize. He says, my name is Tybris Strutt. Tybris Strutt. Tybris Strutt. He says, I'm a cleric of Torm with an M. Win. I'm a cleric of Torm. And Onthar is he's a paladin of Torm. I mean, this Torm being the god of heroics and bravery. I mean, this is Onthar has seen a few battles, and I mean, he's a smart man, and he leads our little sect that is called the Order of the Gauntlet. Again, he's a very fair man, although again, like I said, he does maybe like his drink a little too much. But I mean, I suppose when you've seen the sort of things that gentleman has, I mean, sometimes a stiff drink is all you can do to make it through the day. Again, like I said, I will send the disciples out, and I will send them to try and track him down. Again, I strongly recommend you gather some lodging.
That seems like a good idea. See, Celioson, everything's coming up great. We someone who seems way more reliable than Onthar has just showed up. Isn't that great?
Leosin just kind of looks at you like with one of those very socially awkward looks, like he very much disagrees with you, but he doesn't want. He is fairly uncomfortable in the situation, so he doesn't really want to vocalize it too much.
All right. Okay. Well, where would be a good place to shack up then? Do you think?
He says, well, there's an inn. There's an inn not a few blocks. There's an inn, probably maybe a half dozen or so buildings down. It's called the Readied Nook. It's called the Readied Nook. It's a lovely little spot. You'll be able to hopefully find yourself a nice place to rest there.
That seems a good a place as any. So yeah, I mean, once you find him, just swing by and let him know. Come find old Nero and friends. I guess. I'm Nero, by the way.
Oh, he said, oh, very, very good, very good. I was kind of wondering who old Nero and friends were, but I suppose that all makes sense. Awesome.
Rack
Yes.
leans forward at the same time that he's like, I'm old Nero. And like, Rack's like, I'm not Nero.
Just says, well, that's good. I mean, it'd be awfully confusing if you were both Nero, now wouldn't it be? Yes.
Yeah, we got one Nero and four not Neros, and then we got old stick in the mud over there.
It's like, okay. Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Speaking of which, where the hell's Draxon?
Yes, Draxon is off looking for the less desirable part of town. Yeah, well, you know what? I think that we are going to pick up with Draxon, and I will make a note of this. We will pick up with Draxon at the start of next session, as it is just about that time.
So to be real quick, that for end the session, I just want to make sure that we're not staying at the place that we're at right now. We're going somewhere else.
Yeah, you're going somewhere between like 6 and 8 buildings down the road.
Okay.
This is truly more of a clubhouse than it is like a proper inn and tavern. This is very much like a like I said, it truly is almost like a biker clubhouse kind of thing.
Okay, great. Boy, do I have a good time planned next time. All right. Anyway.
Oh God. Okay, I will prep for this.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, like again, next time we will pick it up with what is happening with Draxon during this whole ordeal that happened within the within the what the fuck is this thing called, even the something of the elk, or the horns of the elk. No, the pair of black antlers, that's what it is. With the pair goddamn elks and antlers and all that shit. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here, checking us out on Adventures Tabletop. If you are interested in keeping up with the rest of us, all of our information is right there. We all have a bunch of solo projects. Please do consider following us with our solo projects.